What's up, y'all? NRW Nerds Rule the World back again. We're in July now, y'all. Pushing forward all the blockbusters this month now. Maybe yes, no,
A
who
little bit
knows?
heavy, yeah.
It's kind of wild. We got one of the first big bangers, one of our most anticipated. I know dropping this week. I'm ready to get into it. I'm creepy. As you see on the screen, my pal Heather. How are you, Heather?
Oh, I'm living.
Yeah, y'all. We all know we're in this world right now. There's been some info we've behind the scenes over here, but we're piling through trying to just push each other, because we got to just keep living. That's our resistance. That's our
Mm.
resistance to the world. What have you been watching to take your mind off of everything that you can talk about, Heather? Have you caught up with anything, now that Ironheart is fully out? Are you gonna start finding your way into the Iron Hearts? All the things I know you're
I
doing stuff online. We finally got a big villain reveal finally in this series.
hmm I have not caught up. I am planning on doing that this week. Some personal things have come in, and I haven't been able to catch up. But I do plan on doing that and Squid Games this week. That those will be watched this week.
Same. Yeah, Squid Game's kind of like out of nowhere. I need to go back in and enjoy the games. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I wrapped up Ironheart. So whenever you get done with that, we'll talk about the thing because we need to talk about the things.
Absolutely.
Especially all the BS that's out there. We gotta, show our half on that sets. But yeah, Squid Games. And are you trying to game again? Are there any games? I've been picking up. I'm an old school gamer, Heather. I
hmm
don't know how you are about like blowing in cartridges, like the old Sega Genesis, SNES, Nintendo. Are you gaming? A lot of the new this new generation, they're all playing Rivals, Marvel Rivals, which I would love to
Right.
get into because I'm a comics nerd, but I don't have an up to date Xbox or PlayStation, so I'm
You also
feeling
have to
kind of out of place with that. How about
You
you?
also, I also don't know how I feel about games where you have to constantly like pay to play. Like I
Same.
don't know about that. But I do love my Switch. No, I have not gotten a Switch 2 yet, but I do love my Switch. I'm looking forward to some games that are coming out this summer and later this year on Switch. But most of those games that I play on the computer. I have a Microsoft subscription on my computer, and I usually just kind of dip in. But I'm never like on trend. I'm always doing shit in reverse. So like I
You're
honestly
not
I
hip
got
to all
into
that stuff right now.
no, but what I did do is I did get the full archival data of Tomb Raider, and I've just been kind of like slowly going through the Tomb Raider games, because that's like my OG favorite. Um,
Same.
but to go along with some classics, my husband and I, there's a whole bunch of the new seasons of a lot of anime. Some that are long running that are finally coming back, or there's stuff that we never finished. So to kind of try to get ourselves back in the mood, we picked up some stuff that we either never finished or we cannot wait for the new season. So we piled through a couple things that like we're currently watching Fairy Tale, which is one of my favorite anime. We watched Goblin Slayer, the first and the second series, waiting for the new one, and then of course I'm catching up on Apothecary Diaries, which I've absolutely loved. Your daughter, by the way, if she's not watching it, she will absolutely love Apothecary Diaries.
Okay.
Um, but other than that, we're going to talk about 40 Acres, which is the big new one so definitely keep an eye out on the channel for that review. And then a whole bunch of fun shark stuff. It's Shark Fest with Nat Geo. So I'm kind of watching all this stupid, weird shit that they're putting on, like Shark Whisperer. I've actually really dig that series. If you haven't gotten into Shark Fest yet, we do have some shark stuff that we did do reviews on, but Shark Fest is live on Hulu and Disney Plus right now.
Yes. Speaking of which, yeah, our reviews are up for Dangerous Animals, for Jaws at 50. There's a review we're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to check this one out, Heather. I want to kind of like mentally force you to see it because I had to subject myself to it. It's called Hot Springs Shark Attack. Overseas, it was called Onsen Shark. As of this recording, I literally am booking. It's a reschedule. The interview with the writer director, but I'm curious your take on it. It's because you also like Godzilla, Heather, right? You're
I
a
do.
kaiju person. This like blends a little bit of like that kaiju Godzilla stuff, but with Jaws in a
I
way.
the
It's
way that you
weird,
explained
and I
it,
need you to see this weirdness.
the way that you explained it originally to me, it reminded me of like Sharknado, but not like the good Sharknados, like three or four. Like, as we're getting into the weird shit, Like, and it was already weird to get into the weirder shit. So I do
Yeah.
need to watch it though. I do need to watch it.
Yeah. If you can, cool. It's I don't know what the hell I watched. All I know is there's a good-looking Asian man that saves the day half the time. I'm like, okay, but
All
it just
right.
makes no sense. All right.
All
All
right.
right, y'all. Stay tuned. We'll hopefully have the review up for Hot Springs Shark Attack, aka Onsen Shark, as well as the interview with the writer director. But we got a bunch of films dropping this week,
Mhm.
especially a major one, a big
No
one,
shit.
one we've been anticipating. We'll talk all the things on it. We'll also have a review on it. But before we get there, in the picks, Heather, have you heard of a sovereign citizen?
Yes, I know what a sovereign citizen is. It's called bullshit.
Well,
Called
there's a
bullshit.
new film with our man Nick Offerman, who I know you love Nick
I
Offerman
love
like I do.
I love him with all my heart.
He's so different in this role. I had the pleasure
Mhm.
of checking this out. And if you hadn't seen it yet, Heather, remind me because we have the screener, so you can check it out. And I'll have an interview with the director on this as well. As of this recording, it's booked for tomorrow, so I'll be interviewing the director. Um, Very interesting film, and I'm curious your thoughts, especially when you finally check it out. Dropping in theaters as well as on demand on July 11th. Let's check out the trailer, Heather, for Sovereign. Here we go.
Hello? 1-1, where is your emergency? Exit 275 on 40. These guys just shot a police officer right on the exit.
I need to ask you a few questions. Maybe you can help me get to the bottom of what happened. Can you do that for me? You two were on some kind of road trip?
My dad travels for work.
There is no money. It's all just numbers on a ledger. And when it all comes collapsing down, who do you think they expect to come around and clean up the mess?
What about school?
I'm homeschooled. He says that he wants me to be an independent thinker.
Power's in the people. Always remember that.
We found some weapons in the van you were driving. Your father has, he ever been violent?
Next time, aim more for the head. You know, they wear bulletproof vests.
It sounds to me like your dad doesn't like the government very much.
They demand that you beg. They're sick like that. You know, they're psychotic, psychopaths.
I mean, I don't want to have to kill anybody. But if they keep messing with me, then I'm afraid that's what it's going to come down to. And if I have to kill one, then I'm not going to be able to stop. I just know it.
They think they can just, you know, keep squeezing blood out of a stone. But at some point, you have to let them know that you won't be pushed any further.
This is an illegal stop.
Sir, get back in the
What
car.
law did I break?
Get back in the
Tell me
car
what
right
law
now.
I broke and I'll comply.
Sir?
They're sick in the head, that's all. So we just gotta play their silly-ass little games. And go in there and, kill the monster under the bed, so to speak.
All right, Heather, in theaters this week as well as on demand. Sovereign. I have never seen Nick Offerman like this, and he's
Mhm.
done both drama and comedy. But man, wow, a really standout performance, as well as Jacob Tremblay, who plays his son. You see Dennis Quaid in there. Really curious to see your thoughts if you're interested in checking it out. And y'all again check out my interview. But yeah. Fun fact. I don't know if you know this. A lot of people don't know this about me, but there's certain things that I've now passed certain statute of limitations. When in one of my former positions, I used to talk and had to interview and speak with sovereign citizens and get information, and was always very interesting. And now, fast forward to now and seeing this film, it's a very interesting film on how they portray these guys.
Mhm.
And with the vibe of how we're feeling in the world right now, even more very interesting. Because I think a lot of us are kind of becoming anti-government and can kind of understand this in a certain way. But this is a whole other path and to another crazy paranoid path. Let me just be real, and I'm sure you feel the same way, Heather. But it just with the vibe of the way the world is, it just makes this film at this time very intriguing. And I just hope people still understand that isn't exactly the route you want to go. And there's other routes that hopefully we can do, even though it's kind of hard to have love and trust in this world when pretty much everything in our world is corrupted. But yeah. Anyway, let me get off of the soapbox because we don't do that here, Heather, right? We don't get on soapboxes. What do you think of Sovereign?
I love Nick Offerman. I think he can do almost no wrong. The man is a good human just in general. Sovereign citizenship is literal bullshit. If you ever read the actual mandates and understand what's happening, and honestly, the worst of the worst people call themselves sovereign citizens. And we're probably going to hit with a couple crybabies in the comments when I say that, but honey, look at the law, and look at your own laws. The problem is that there are people that are often the worst of the worst, and they're doing what they're doing against the government because they believe that they are above it, not within it, which is the worst. But I could definitely see with the cast and crew, with the cast that's played into this, that it would be a solid film, an emotional film, and a difficult film. It's probably like much of Offerman's work lately. It's probably very timely as well. He's been picking some stuff that seems to be very reflective lately. And I also think that he plays into the manly man, a stereotype due to his voice and due to his looks. And he often does it in contrast to who he really is, which is very funny. But this film might make a lot of people who get mad at him for him being who he is, when they take an inner look at what he's doing here. So
yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah, it's wild. Hopefully you'll get a chance and we'd love to review it. But yeah, very interesting film, and especially in these times. Moving on to a film that you actually did some interviews for the channel, already available. We love us some Disney Plus over here, even though we don't get the love all the time from Disney Plus. Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. You spoke with Malachi Barton and Freya Sky. Again, that interview's up there and hitting numbers, girl. I don't know if you noticed that. We get numbers. Shout out to you Zombies fans for checking it out. Maybe we need to do more Zombies, these teen interviews, so we can build up our young fan base. But let's check out the trailer for the film dropping this week on Disney Plus. Here we go. Zombies 4.
It's been a tough year. I really missed you all.
I have an idea.
Project!
We're gonna be fine, so fine.
Coach, I promise I will only think about football this summer. We're gonna be back on the road in no time.
We can get split up to find help. We'll cover more ground that way.
What is this place?
Hey! Am I glad to see you?
Daywalker! Vampires! Easy now. Oh, chill.
I'm not a daywalker. I'm a cheerleader. Vampires are evil and ruthless. He's just green and clueless.
Thank you. Yes. Wait, that's mean. Okay.
The vampires and daywalkers hate each other. How much longer can we live in fear?
You feel safe? Because I don't.
We come from a town called Seabrook, where all monsters live together in peace.
That is not gonna happen.
Counselor Zed reporting for duty. Isn't this awesome?
If you two show that you can work together, it shows them that they can work together too.
Yeah, let's do this!
There are enemies, Nova.
Ow. Sorry. Reflexes.
Victor! Working with our enemies? Prepare for battle!
One of our towns won't survive.
It's them or us.
Fight for what you believe in. Because what's on the line is your future.
This is war!
Seize them.
Why should we listen to you?
Don't mess with us.
All right, don't mess with them. Disney Plus, Zombies 4, as well as the Disney Channel. Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. Heather, I actually wasn't sure if you were going to do a review, so I went ahead and watched it. So I'm ready if you want to do a review on this joint. I thought it was cute. It's cheese. It's definitely cheese, and we're an older set compared to who this is directed to. But I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it. If I was a younger cat, I would want to be a vampire because I like the black and red combination. I think that looks good. But yeah, I could definitely be down with this. And I have some thoughts if we do a review. There was some stuff that surprised me, but the dancing, the cinema, the choreography, I was feeling it. Although it was very cheesy.
It's very the entire series is very cheesy. If you watch the first one, my husband and I have been digging the series since it first premiered. At the time, we were a little bit more age appropriate. I won't deny. Watching it now, there's a question on it, I'm sure, but it's okay because you can love cheesy, goofy things for as long as you want. Whatever will make your heart happy. Just don't be a creep about it.
Right.
That's kind of it. But we've actually been big fans of the zombie series. I really enjoy it. I did some interviews for the Zombies television series that came out last year as well. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun, goofy series, and I think this is an important step if they want to continue the series going forward. I don't know if you've seen any of the other films, but
this is my first entry into it. So
okay, you need to watch. You need to watch the first one because the first one I think will get you. It's cute. But it's one of those where, and it's honestly one of the better Disney Channel movies in a while, personally, because that's also like it came out after all of the hullabaloo of like all the High School Musical stuff, and so it kind of came out in a good time to be a cheesy musical film. But the main characters are getting older, and it's time for them to move on. So I think this is an important story for those people who want to see more, but we all get older, period. And if sure, KP and I can do a review. It'll be a nice and short one. So keep your eyes out on that. Yeah. And definitely check out my review with or my interview with Freya and Malachi, because I asked them a question that I thought that they weren't getting enough of, and Malachi seemed to truly dig that I asked him that question. So.
Yeah, absolutely. They seemed really cool, great young stars. You know, hopefully we'll see their stars blossom even further. But yeah, I was a little surprised. And if we do the review, there's this one part that really caught me. I was like, oh, okay, let me find out. But we got two more to drop on the folks. As you know, Heather, you're the big fan of this particular animal, this aquatic underwater animal, and we're in the midst of Shark Week. We have to have Jaws, and we're celebrating 50 years. We have to have Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story, since it's being released this week to the public in our picks this week. So let's check out the trailer for Jaws at 50. Here we go.
To me, making Jaws was a life-altering experience.
50 years, we're still talking about Jaws.
It was the first blockbuster.
It's this mystical connection between hero and monster.
This started me thinking about a career in movies.
Is there anything that you've never said about Jaws?
Let's find out. We were on the real ocean, and we were way out of our element for 5 months. And we all began going off the deep end, literally.
Okay, attack!
The film was 100 days behind schedule. And 80% of the time, the shark didn't work.
There was a strong undercurrent that the studio would close us down.
I was terrified I was going to be fired, but I never once felt like I wanted to quit. And when the film wrapped, I had a full-blown panic attack. But the success was fantastic.
It was sort of life-changing.
It's the film I've seen the most.
It wasn't just a movie, it was a pop culture phenomenon like that.
It supercharged the language of cinema.
There have been movies made since using CG sharks that aren't nearly as good.
The film that I thought would end my career is the film that began it. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, there we go. Jaws at 50 on Nat Geo, and then the next day Disney Plus, Hulu, all the things, because it's a Disney joint. Well, Disney owns everything.
Disney owns the world.
Yeah. Our review is up on the channel, so if you really want to go in depth of what Heather and I think about Jaws at 50, it's there. But what are your quick thoughts on this dropping this week, Heather? What do you want to tell people?
Celebrate 50 years of Jaws. It's considered one of the most perfect films in history. Learn about the problems, learn about what it takes to make a quote unquote perfect film from the mouths of the people who actually got to do it. It's one of Steven Spielberg's most in-depth interviews ever. So if you're a fan of his, which if you are a movie person, you're a fan of his. It doesn't matter what your opinion is of certain films, you are a Spielberg fan, whether you like it or not. If you love film, definitely check it out. I talk a lot about Kuyapi and I both gush, but just be prepared. I'm going to talk a lot about sharks, so just deal with it. I'm just going to gush a lot.
Cosign everything Heather just said. Yeah, great doc to a legendary film. Go check it out. Full review is up on the channel. And now, one of our most anticipated of 2025 is here. Arriving in theaters this week. Go get them tickets. Does it beat out for me? Does it come up to be the best Superman film of all time? You'll have to see my review hopefully soon. It just might be there. Just might be, but I'm not going to tell you yet. Gotta see that review. But Superman, the David Corn Sweat, Nicholas Hoult version from James Gunn drops this week. Let's check out the trailer.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman?
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might.
A lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of the United States.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me and doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Your choices, your actions, that's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
All right, in theaters this week,
The
Superman.
new Lois Lane movie looks great.
My favorite version of Lois on screen this far. I'm trying to figure out ways to not spoil for anybody, but this cast, again, well, I'll save everything for the review, but David Corn Sweat, Nicholas Hoult, Rachel Brosnahan, I think is her name, is our Lois. They're the new set. They are it. I think they did an immaculate job. Oh, I know one thing, and this ain't spoiling, but one thing that really blew me away that I was super excited to see. You know, y'all know I'm an actor. Everybody knows that here and there. And I have a lot of friends that are actors. A good friend of mine is in a pretty big role in this film. I didn't know he was going to be in this film. And shout out to my boy James Hiroyuki Liao. He plays I think he's the Secretary of Defense with General Flag. Who is I forgot the actor's name. He's also in the not Suicide. Yeah, was he in Suicide Squad? The Suicide Squad? And I know he's in the Creature Commando series. I forgot the name of the actor. He was also in Cap. Heather, I'm losing it. Anyway, General Flag is going to be a big thing with this DCU universe going later on down the road. But he's my good friend James Liao plays the secretary, I believe the Secretary of Defense that works with General Flag. And when I saw him in the film, I was losing my shit because he just wasn't in one scene. He was in several scenes. So I think my boy's going to have a big part in this DC universe. So I'm super excited. Anyway. So
the Frank Grillo? Frank Grillo, right?
Frank Grillo, yes. Frank Grillo's General Flag. And my boy is the Secretary of Defense working hand in hand with General Flag. So shout out to my boy James. And hopefully I'm working on the interview. Once I saw him, I texted him last night. I was like, James, bitch, you ain't tell me he was in Superman. Obviously NDAs, but now that it's out, we can talk about it. Can we do an interview? Can we talk about your favorite Superman films and just maybe how it was? And he was like, yo, dude, he texted me back. It was a blast working with Gunn. I wasn't sure what all was going to make the cut. So I'm happy to hear that it made the cut because he wasn't in LA. He was in New York. He didn't go out to the whole cast premiere. I was like, bitch, I love it. I love it for you. You know, it looks like he'll be a part of the DC universe for a while. I fucking love it. So just proud of my boy. But yeah, Heather, I know you couldn't make it because of reasons. What do you want to say about Superman? And just with all the kind of garbage nonsense that it's out there, because he's always been an immigrant, y'all.
He's always been an immigrant. He was literally.
Fuck y'all for for being upset about that. You just weren't really reading. Obviously, you don't read. That's common knowledge now from maggots. Y'all don't read.
He's literally. I mean, it's tell me you've never done anything, and that includes seeing other Superman movies without telling me. Superman was created by two Jewish men, one of whom was a Canadian immigrant to this country. And they wanted to create a character that could represent themselves and everything that they felt when they came into a country that was bigoted, racist, and against immigrants. I wonder how that turned out into a comic book. But what I will say is it was very unfortunate. I was supposed to go to the screening last night. I'm actually devastated that I couldn't go. But it's one of the I will see it. I will definitely see it. It's going to be a movie that I'm absolutely going to see in theaters. But what I will say is I'm trying my hardest not to dig too much in. I want to support my fellow critics. I want to give them those clicks and want to give them those reviews. But I'm trying to stay away from it, even though I will say this, Creepy and I chatted a little bit before it. None of it's surprising to me. I've been in comics retail. I've read the comics. I worked in comics retail for a decade. Like, it's not new. But one of the things that I am so excited to see just consistently without going too far into it is that it is it is a movie that's basically ripped right out of the comics. And I love that. I really want to see that. Yes, we have talked about being too safe and being too similar in this, especially recently in film. But after all of the things we have seen recently, especially within the DCEU, it's nice to see something so connected to the comics and to its origin. But my question will be, once I do see it, and KP, you and I will talk about this, is one of the most comic booky movie that we've ever seen, and part of it is because it is animated, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But could this compete with the most comic booky movie? Could this compete?
What are you? So are you saying Spider-Verse is the comic
Spider-Verse
movie?
Yes, it's been.
I'm kind of separating. Now you have me thinking in a different. I'm thinking live action. I wasn't comparing against animated.
And that's the thing is.
So now when I think animated, I gotta toss in everything, and I'm not thinking in that universe at the moment. Because
this is
if we're doing comic booky. Man, there's, obviously with Marvel side, Spider-Verse is the strong contender on the Marvel side. But man, DC animated has killed it, which we both know. When the lean years of these Snyderverse bro bullshit, the DC animated have been on point. You know what I'm saying?
They have been.
So
they have been.
now you got me thinking differently.
We're talking about major motion pictures, not straight to DVD. And unfortunately, though I agree, DC animated films are on point. They are just animated versions of the comic book.
Yeah.
I'm talking about major motion pictures that adjust the story arc to create a film.
Yeah.
And I know that yes, we are comparing apples to oranges, but I think that when you have a film that you can call a true comic book movie, I think we need to put those all together in a big basket and talk through them. That's a conversation though for a different day, different time. We'll talk about it when we talk Superman. We'll do that.
I will say for right now, and this isn't spoilers, y'all. Again, I saw it, and I'm not. This is the most comic book. The reason why we're saying this is because what I told Heather earlier. This is the most comic book movie live action I think I've ever seen, and I've seen them all. Okay. It had so many twists like a real comic book, but in film fashion, live action fashion. Again, to do that caveat, because now you got me thinking on the whole animation tip, Heather, and so now I gotta like use the brain cells to figure that out. What is the most comic book movie, live action and or animated? So yeah. All right, Heather, those are the picks this week. We have Sovereign. We have Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. We have Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story, and Superman. It's got to be a thumbs up week, Heather.
It's a pretty good thumbs up week. I think that for the fact that July is usually at the zenith of blockbuster season, I think that this is a good first full week to start out. That the July 4th often has that, that kind of buffer week between June and July. And I think this was a good, solid blockbuster week. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Those are our picks, y'all. What do you think? Hit us up in the comments below. Did we miss something? Do you disagree? Whatevs. We can talk about it. Comments below. If you read or don't read Maggot. Anyway, let me get up out of here before I piss any more people off. Sovereign Citizen, whatever. Hit us up. You don't care about you don't realize that the traffic is just helping us. Whatever.
Helping us.
You're that dumb. Anyway, we out.